Hey, hello everybody. So for another round of our DMD questions, and today we're covering our final topic over here. So on week 5, day 3, we're going to be handling on speed word problems. So let us go through the key concepts we're going to cover for today. And there's actually quite a few. So we're going to be covering meeting problems, chasing problems, understanding midpoints, the average speed, and also the change of speed as well. However, for each one of them, I'm just going to be covering a very brief idea about it. And last but not least, again, another practice question. So for meeting problems, basically when we are having two people that are moving towards each other and they are meeting at a certain point, where most importantly, their speeds are different. So there's actually this method over here. To find the time taken to meet, they need to take the total distance divided by the total speed. So from here, we can actually see if both Peter and Sean are moving towards each other and they are trying to meet up each other, they are 100 meters away and they're trying to meet up each other, the total distance they have to cover is 100 meters. And how long do they actually take to meet up? So in order to do so, the quickest way is to divide by their total speed. 30 plus 20, and this will give us 2 minutes. And this makes sense because 2 minutes by Sean will be 20 times 2 will be 40. And 30 times 2 will give us 60 for Peter. The combined distance here is 100 meters. It's correct. Now, let's talk about chasing problems. Now, the total time to actually catch up for the person behind to catch up to the person at the front will be the difference in their distance as of now. Let's say the gap in their distance divided by the difference in their speed. Because as we can see here, Tom is traveling at 30 meters per minute and he's 50 meters behind Harry. And Harry is traveling at 20 meters per minute. So Tom is actually trying to catch up to Harry at 10 meters per minute. So that's why 50 meters divided by 30 meters per minute minus 20 meters per minute. This would actually give us the distance of, the difference in the speed of 10 meters per minute. And 50 meters divided by 10 meters per minute, it would be 5 minutes. So most importantly, find the difference in the speed, take the difference in the distance and divide. For the midpoint, it is actually very similar to our previous question. So the time taken to meet is also the difference in the difference in the distance traveled divided by the speed difference as well. And what do I mean by the difference in the distance traveled? So we see in this case, Peter and Sean, they were trying to meet up again. And in this case here, Peter actually went past the midpoint between their distance by 150 meters, while Sean is in front of the midpoint by 150 meters. Now, one would assume that, Peter has traveled 150 meters more than Sean, but that's not the case. In order to actually find the difference in the distance traveled, okay, the distance difference, it would have been 150 meters multiplied by 2 to give us 300 meters. Now we know that Peter actually traveled 300 meters more than Sean. And it makes sense again because he's traveling faster. So what's the speed difference? It is actually 60 minus 40 to give us 20 meters per minute. So how long did they take to actually travel to meet up at this point over here? It would have just simply been 300 meters divided by 20 meters per minute, and it gives us 15 minutes. Again, each person will have traveled this 15 minutes here, and let us do a little bit of calculation just to confirm. 15 times 40, 600. 15 times 60, 900. Now, 900 minus 600 does give us 300. And if we add up together 1,500, we divide by 2, 750. The midpoint being 750, 900 is 150 meters more, 600 is 150 less than 750. This makes sense. Now, another key concept is actually on the average speed, where you are supposed to take the total distance divided by the total time taken. There are many students in the past that like to actually just note the average, right? So it's just taking the two speeds, adding them up and dividing them by 2. And that is completely the wrong way. Many students used to do that in the past and they will always note that it will never ever be correct. The way we are supposed to do this is supposed to take the total distance divided by the total time taken. Even if you're not provided, we will count it. So the total distance in this case is 60 kilometers plus 140 kilometers. And we are dividing by the total time taken. If we don't know the total time taken, let's count it out. So 60 kilometers divided by 20 kilometers per hour plus 140 kilometers at 70 kilometers per hour. Sorry. Per hour. This will allow us to go and count the total distance, which is 200 kilometers, and we divide it by 3 plus 2 hours, 5 hours. Then we're able to find the final speed, 40 kilometers per hour. That's the average speed of the entire journey. And as we can see, it is not the average between 70 and 20. Last but not least, we are going to be tackling on the change of speed. And what do we mean by the change of speed? Let's say one person has a fixed distance to travel. And in this case here, there are two different cases of their speed they are traveling at. So in this case, with different speeds, there will be different time taken as well. But what if in this case, you are not given the distance traveled? Let's say you only provided the speed. So at the same time as well, they do not tell you the amount of time taken, but we can actually count it up. So if Jake travels at 40 meters per minute, he will reach his destination on time. Since we are not sure what the time is, we can label this as X. And if he travels at 30 meters per minute, he will reach his destination 10 minutes late, which makes sense again. This will be X plus 10 because it takes 10 minutes more. So let's look at 40 meters per minute multiplied by the time taken, X. And this is equivalent to when he travels at the new speed of 30 multiplied by his new time taken. So 40x equals to 30x plus 300. 10x equals to 300x equals to 30. This means that he will have taken 30 minutes in the first case, 40 minutes in the second. But since we are, let's say, trying to find the distance covered, it will be 40 meters per minute multiplied by 30 minutes, giving us 1,200 meters. And in fact, it is exactly the same method we are going to be using for our NMOS question. So every Friday, Ravi needs to rush the musical center from school for his piano lesson. He jogs there at the average speed of 200 meters per minute. But last Friday, Ravi sprained his ankle and walked there at the speed of 40 meters per minute and arrived 12 minutes later than usual. Since we are not given the speed for now, let's take the usual speed, usual time taken as x minutes again. So 200 meters per minute meters per minute multiplied by x. And this will be equivalent to his new speed of 40 meters per minute multiplied by x plus 12 minutes later. So 200x equals to 40x plus 480. The difference between these two, 160x equals to 480, x equals to 3 minutes. In order to find the distance, all we need to do, take one of the two sides, 200 multiplied by 3, we get 600 meters. And just like that, we have managed to solve another change of speed question. Now, many of the questions later on will use a scenario similar to this one, so please take note, all right? And at the same time, please also use some time to revise all of the things that we have just learned above as well. Last but not least, okay, please remember to go and complete all 3 questions. Send your answers inside the group chat and also take note of the solutions that will be sent out tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.